Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another mixed media-ish tutorial, working again on the Grungy Bee journal. I'm just kind of on a roll here with some mixed media applications. So what I did here off camera, which we are going to do together, is I wanted to make an envelope flip. So this is going to actually go on in the journal like this. So this would be sewn into the signature. I would cover this side with paper, make this a tuck spot, and then I'd cover the flaps inside and out. But I thought what fun it would be to do some mixed media work on the other side, and then maybe put a belly band or something from top to bottom here. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to do that or if I'll put a pocket. Probably going to do a belly band, but we will see. Maybe even like a burlap kind of belly band. I'm not sure, but we'll get to that later on in the video. Because this is mixed media, there is going to be a lot of dry time. I do cut all of that out. I don't make you guys wait through that. I just cut it out. That shortens the video and everything is beautiful. So I thought I'd show you how I got this effect. So I have this stencil that I just purchased from Amazon. It's a bunch of kind of honeycomb themed kind of stencils. In fact, let me just grab the other ones just so you can see in case you're interested in purchasing. They were very affordable off of Amazon. So we have this one, which I'm going to use, and then there's this one and this one, a little bit of a smaller bit. I love this one. This would be really fun to do, but I don't know if I want to do that or not. I might do this on another page, another mixed media page, but look at this. This is that, the honey dripping. I think this is going to be awesome in a journal, or in the journal on a page. So, and this one's really beautiful as well. So, that's what we're going to do today, but we are going to use the same one I used before. So let me go ahead and get going. Now what I did on my prototype, well, for starters, I needed to cut this down, but I thought because this is just my sample and I was just playing around, I could cut it down later. But we want this to only measure 8 inches total tall and 5 1/4 inches wide. So let me just grab my ruler here. I think this is a little bit long. This is a pretty big envelope, so it measures almost 8 3/4. So that's why we need to cut it down, and then it measures 5 3/4 inches wide. So before we get going on this one, which is the exact same envelope size, this is coffee dyed. So we're going to go ahead and cut it down first, just to make sure that everything is the way that we want it to be. So let me get my cutter out here really quick. I'm going to set that, but I wanted to show you this texture up front. Look at that grungy texture. And this is made with, which we'll talk about more in a minute. I did do some Crackle Paint underneath on the very bottom layer. That's what you see here. This is modeling paste from Liquitex. And then over here, this is some inks. So we're using Distress Spray Stain, Rusty Hinge, Mustard Seed, and Peacock Feathers. So that's how I got some of these colors. You can't really see the peacock in this because it kind of blended out with the yellow and created more of a green, which is just fine. And also, I kind of lost a little bit of my color because I wanted to coat this with a layer of matte medium on the top, and so that moved some of the pigments around a little bit, but that is okay. But look at the little bees. Aren't those just adorable? You can see I've already been playing. My fingers are very messy. So let's go ahead and get going. I'm going to go ahead and get my trimmer out here. And I've got my supplies up ahead of me, so let me move those out of the way here so I have room for the cutter. So let me just open this up. So we want it to be no taller than 8 inches in height. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a little bit off of each side because that helps me. Let's see. I'm going to take about that much off. I mean, it doesn't really matter because when you start messing around with this, I think we're going to probably cut that little bit off anyway. But I'm just doing this just for ease, so I'll just cut the remainder off of this side. So again, 8 inches. It is the evening. It is after work, so just trying to get another video done. Again, I'm on a roll, so you know you got to go with it. And then, so we also need to take some width off. So I'm going to take it off of the bottom because, let's see, yeah, but then I need to glue this. So I think what we're going to do really quick is glue this shut because I don't want it to kind of completely fall apart, which it will as soon as I cut that bottom edge. So I'm just going to snip those bits off. And, oh, I'm so sorry, Rhonda, this is for you, Rhonda Fox. So she asked if it would be okay for me to share what you would need to bring to the table to do this project. So I'm so sorry. Let me back up and do that. I'm not used to doing that. So what I used in the last project is I just grabbed a script stamp to do some background stamping, which in the end didn't really show. In our one we do together, I'll probably come in and do some stamping on top of this texture. I've got stamping underneath, but it got really, really dark and grungy, so you can't really see it. So find any script stamp that you have if you want a little bit of script. I've got my Liquitex flexible modeling paste. You do not have to have this brand, you just want a modeling paste or texture paste. So whatever suits your budget, please do that. But this is my preferred medium because I've done it more professionally and that's just what I have. I've got Deco Art Media Crackle Paint. Now you can get this in other brands as well. I just prefer this one. I really like how it behaves. I know that Ranger has one as well. So a Crackle Paint, you do not absolutely have to have the crackle, but I want to show you the magic of what it does. Then you're going to want some matte medium because we're going to do a glaze with the raw umber fluid acrylic. So you're going to want some of this. And if you wanted it to be glossy, you could use gloss matte medium. I don't prefer that. And then you're going to want clear gesso because I'm going to cover this envelope after we stamp it. And that's going to create a barrier here. It's going to coat this whole surface so that it can take all the mediums that we're going to be adding to it, as I've talked about before in other videos. I've got my raw umber fluid acrylic. You can use any acrylic paint to do this process. You can also use, I just watched Fifi over at Fifi the Paper Crafter on YouTube. She just did a video about all the ways that you can make a glaze. So I will try to remember to link her video. You guys, it was awesome. I haven't gotten a chance to go back and comment on it, but you can actually, there's a variety of ways that you can make a glaze. This is just what I'm using. So you could use a brown, if you want the grungy look, you could use a brown acrylic paint and your matte medium to make a glaze. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. It's just that I'm going to be using golden fluid acrylics because that's what I have. I did also use my iridescent gold fine fluid acrylic from Golden. I'm using Distress Spray Stain in Peacock Feathers. As I mentioned before, Rusty Hinge, Mustard Seed. I also have black archival ink from Ranger. This is a permanent ink. So you do want something that's permanent if you're going to do stamping in the background. So with that aside, let me finish what I was doing here. So I just want to glue these edges really quick. I'm just going to reach above and grab my art glitter glue and glue this so that we don't completely lose all of the definition and form of our envelope here. So, and of course this is probably not going to work. I haven't used it in a few days, so more than a few days. So we're just going to cut glue these two edges because we're going to cut this envelope down. So just like that. So we just want to give that a second to set here. And I will try to be as detailed as I can in how you want to put this together in terms of the steps. So now we're going to go ahead and fold this, and I want this to be no wider than 5 inches. I could probably go 5 1/4, but I'm going to go ahead, actually I am going to go 5 1/4. So I'm just moving that. I know you guys can't see that line. I don't have any more room to move that way. So we're going to go ahead and do 5 1/4-ish and just cut that end off. Boy, we keep moving. Come on, man. Help me out here. I feel like I'm not even here. Not even Steven. Let's see if I can just I Spy this. There we go. Okay. So now our envelope is the size that we need it to be for the actual journal that it is going to go in. So I'm having trouble with the cutter over there. So now we're still sealed, and so this would be our opening here. So, so we are going to, in the last half of the video, we'll be covering this. We'll be covering this, as I mentioned. We'll probably leave this raw because I really like the look of that. And then this other side will obviously be our mixed media side. So I'm going to try to leave it like that. I'm having trouble with that staying down. I wonder, well, we're just going to have to deal with it. Okay. Well, maybe we'll just do that, but I don't want to get anything on that. So let me see if I can get a little bit of washi or something to hold that down. Just a minute. Sorry about that back and forth, guys. We're already 11 minutes in. And what have we done? We've cut. We've cut some stuff. That's all we've done. It's okay. There we go. So that's better. So we're going to go ahead and do some stamping on here first. And I think I'm going to grab a larger stamp. Again, you can use any stamp you choose, but I felt like because our stenciling was so big, it didn't really leave me a whole lot of script showing. So I'm going to grab my favorite French script stamp because it's got a little bit, well, I guess it's not really that big. You know what? Let's stick with the other one. It's not bigger. It's not bigger, Cara-Renee. And I don't do stamping all over the envelope, but you guys can watch and see. So I'm just going to kind of go like that. I don't want it to be super like consistent. And again, it's not going to really show through all the texture, but I want it there just for my own, I just like that. So it doesn't matter if it's straight. Okay. There we go. Okay, that's all I wanted. So now we're going to go ahead and give this a coat of gesso, and a clear gesso, because again, that's going to help seal this base, and this is not staying. Goodness gracious. Okay. Hopefully that's not going to be a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and just get some clear gesso. I'm just going to put it right here on my mat. And we're going to use a brush and get that on. I like to use a soft brush. So I'm just going to get this on and then we'll dry it. So I hope that you guys are doing well. I still, if you probably can tell, I'm still stuffed up. It's Monday the, what is it? October the 9th or 10th. Not quite sure. And went back to work today after the weekend, and our kids are still sick at school. So I think I'm going to be in the revolving door of illness for a while here, which is unfortunate, but you know, it's life. It is the life of somebody that works with elementary age kids in general and special needs kids. So we're going to go ahead and dry this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that is good enough. You can see it a little bit still because it's still drying, but it is okay to move on to the next step. Now, you don't have to use a coffee dyed envelope. You could use any envelope. You could use a journal page, you know, just a digital or something else. You don't have to do what I'm doing here. So getting rid of that gesso. So the reason why I'm going to go in with the next step is because it's just the Crackle Paint, and we can do that on top of this. So I'm just grabbing a palette knife here, I forgot, and my Crackle Paint. And again, this is Deco Art Medium Crackle Paint, one of my favorite products. And I'm going to do a little bit more than I did on the last one. I was really sparing on that one, but I think I'm going to do a little bit more, and I'm going to be a little bit more random and willy-nilly. I kind of had everything a little bit too defined in the other one. So you can see we are covering up a lot of that text. And as I've spoken before, if you guys haven't watched, I encourage you to go back and watch my, I started a Mixed Media 101 series where I talked about why the layers are important and that I love the layers and the mystery. I never know what's going to show through. In this case, it ends up that the black script really doesn't, because it's on a dark envelope, right? But the layers still tell a story about what I'm feeling, especially if I'm creating mixed media. Not really this kind of mixed media, because this isn't like deeply inspired or anything. It's just playful fun. But often when I create mixed media work, it's from a deep emotional place, and so the layers really really speak to me. I feel like I need a little bit more where some of this is a little bit thinner. I really want some good crackle, because that crackle is going to show up between the honeycomb stencil areas. So going to put a little bit more on. So I will come back when this is nice and dry and cracked. Okay, here we go. It is mostly cracked. It does continue to crack even after time passes and you're working on it. So the crackle, the Deco Art Crackle Paint, I love for this reason, because within about 3 minutes this was already starting to crack, the thinner stuff. So that's one of the reasons why I really love it. So we're going to go on to the stenciling, because that's going to take some time to dry. I'll probably break for the night and turn the camera back on and finish tomorrow, just to give everything a chance to dry very well. So let me go ahead and cap up this. And my throat is getting a little bit tired. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my flexible modeling paste. And I'm going to get a different palette knife, and I'll show you why. So when they're longer like this, you have a little bit less control than kind of this rectangular shape. So I prefer this when applying texture paste, especially if I'm doing a lot of it. So we're going to go ahead and put this in place. And I'm trying to think about how I want it. I think I want to kind of go up this way this time. So I'm going to come just almost to the edge there. I want to get some of those B's though, the whole B. So I think I'm going to go like that. And I'm trying to keep it straight by looking at the bottom here and lining it up to the bottom of the stencil here. Hopefully that makes sense. Down here is what I'm looking at. So we're going to go ahead and put some texture paste on. I'm going to start, and I'm not putting it everywhere. So and again, I'm not trying to fill in all the honeycomb shapes. I really want there to be some brown showing and that kind of thing. I do want to try to get, let's see if I can get up in this corner and get that dripping stuff in there as well. And then we've got a bee down here I want to capture. Those turned out really nice. And I'm going to get this bee in this corner as well. And then I'll pull this off. Now, because this surface, I always say you want to not have peaks in your modeling paste when you pull up your stencils, so it's good to scrape it and stuff. But because we are working on a surface that is moving, kind of bowing up and down, it's a little bit trickier to do that. I'm going to get a little bit more right here. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to slowly pull this off, and I'll show you what I mean when I say peaks. There we go. So this is what it looks like. I love this. I like this better than the other one because we're going to get a little bit more of that brown showing. So when this dries, you're going to be seeing these just kind of, they're not, you can see that they're not perfect. They're irregular, and I think that really lends itself to the vintage grungy look that we're going for here. And then we've got our B down here and our B here. And then we've got our, where did our drippings go? I think our drippings did not come through, but that is okay. So we're going to go ahead and stop for now, and I'll come back in the next bit and finish it off with the next step. Okay, so this is mostly dry. I did come back shortly after I ended the last segment just because I just need to keep going. So that's what we have so far. So now we're going to go ahead. I mentioned that I like to do some stamping on top of the texture, so we're going to do that a little bit. This is a little soft in here, but that's all right. So let me just grab my stamp again here. And we're going to do a little bit more script stamping on top of some of this texture. Not all of it, but some of it. I love the look of it. Look at that. So fun. So again, I don't want to be too overbearing with it. Just here and there. It just looks really cool when on top of that texture. So get just a little bit in the middle, just a tad, like that, and we're done. So that's black archival ink, so it is not going to run when we start doing our sprays. So that being said, I know not everyone has distress spray stains. I love them. I love them a lot more than Distress Oxides. I love them a lot more than Distress Inks. So that's what we're going to use today. Now, we are going to get some blend of color. As I mentioned, when I apply this and this, it tends to make it more of a green rather than the peacock feathers kind of turquoise color. So we're going to start with the mustard seed. And we're just going to spray generously like that. I want quite a bit because I really want the peacock to. Let me see if I can get a little closer here so you guys can see. I hope that's okay. There we go. And let's get some peacock feathers too. Really, really vibrant color. These are similar colors to the ones that I used when I did those journal pages that I ended up messing up. I shared in one of the videos. I put them together and I didn't give them space to dry. And to not be tacky, and it did ruin the pages. I have to use them for something else. So there we go. Look at that. Is that beautiful or what? I need to get more of this mustard seed. It's one of my favorite colors. And then we're going to go in with a little bit of the Rusty Hinge. I love this color very much. So what my hope is to end here so that I can just leave this alone and not mess with it, because I messed with the other one and I ended up kind of destroying what I had created. I'm going to move this really close so you guys can hopefully see a little bit more of that color. There we go. I don't have a zoom on my camera. I have to just bring it physically down. So I'm going to go ahead and let this set, and I will come back with you probably after work tomorrow and we will continue. Hello friends, this is the next day. I did finally leave it alone and let it set, and I'm hoping that you guys can see the beautiful colors that we got in this one. I'm feeling like it's not quite enough. Looking at the monitor, it looks really muted out, but I will take photos and you guys can see that at the end of the video before we do any decorating on this as well. But I do want to finish up giving it some color. So I want to bring in a little bit more of a turquoise color and some more yellow. So I need to reach, I'm actually going to pull out some acrylic paint, I believe, because I don't have any more of the mustard seed. Well, it's here, but it's just not coming out. Let's try it again. Maybe it just needed a rest. And then I pulled out my Daler-Rowney turquoise acrylic ink. So you could continue with sprays, you could continue with an acrylic paint if you wanted to do what I'm doing and add a little bit more turquoise. But I'm going to go ahead and add the yellow here, the mustard seed. Hopefully we'll be able to get some out of this. It's just kind of at the end of the bottle, so it just needs a little bit more color, like so, because it's just looking a little bit too too light for my liking, so I'm going to go ahead and shake this up. This is the turquoise. So let's see what this looks. This is very turquoise. I'm not sure that I like that. I'm going to reach for one more color. My apologies, guys. I am just all over the place today. Maybe we'll go with this cobalt turquoise in the golden fluid acrylic. That's a little bit more the color that I'm looking for. So I'm going to put some on my mat here, and I'm going to get some water and water it down just a smidge, like so. And I'm going to get a brush. Hopefully I didn't let that dry out overnight. It feels a little dry. Oh, I did not soak these last night. Ah! Oh man alive. Let me get another brush. See if we can find something softish. Yeah, that's good. So we're just going to go ahead and get some of this on here. And I'm just going to kind of move it around a little bit. So we're getting, again, because we're mixing that yellow and this color, we're going to get more of a natural green. But that's okay. That's what I'm going for. I'm going to spray this just a smidge and get that paint moving. It feels very green, which I can't seem to find a happy medium today in this project. So let me grab a baby wipe here. And I like that better, but it's a little bit too blue now. Go figure. It's just really hard to get that happy medium that we want. So, let's go in with the ink. That's interesting. That's interesting. So I'm going to use the baby wipe, but I'm just going to kind of use this to kind of move that around a little bit because I'm having trouble keeping that color for some reason. What do you think of that? Just not quite what I am going for here. So we are going to do that again, which means more dry time, guys. I hope you guys don't mind. Ooh, that was a lot. That was a lot. And then we're going to get some of the mustard seed again and try to change that color. If I can get it to come out. It's in here. I mean, it's got quite a bit still in here. Oh, come on. Maybe my nozzle's just plugged up. Let's see if I can wipe that off. Boy, we are just going gangbusters here today. It's after work. There we go. See, I'm liking that more of a sea green, I think, is kind of what I'm thinking. So I'm going to grab a paper towel here. I like that a lot better. I'm just going to kind of get some of the excess up here and move some of that color around just a bit. Already making a big mess of myself. I just sat down. I feel like I like that better. So let's go ahead and give this a little zap. I feel I want more of that yellow. And I'm going to go in with a little bit more of the vintage photo. I need to shake that. Yeah, we need some dark. It got really light for some reason. I'm not sure why that was. So that feels more balanced. Okay, so we're going to dry that. Let me wipe my hands off because I do want to show you something really quick. So while I was off camera, I need to get a dry towel here as well to not transfer all this wet. My hands are a mess. I was trying to think about, I cut this one down to be the same size as this one. This is the one I made off camera, and I did the same thing. I opened up the side, and so we've got an open pocket here. So I was trying to think about, actually it goes this way. yeah, this way, is putting a belly band on here because I really don't want to cover up the whole base. I want to be able to see everything that we see. So I purchased some digitals from a shop, and it's gold foil. So this is gold foil paper printed on vellum. So I thought we would use this as a belly band because you would be able to still see a lot of what's behind it. So it's kind of hard to tell there because I don't want to set it all the way on there, but that's what I'm thinking. So I'm going to take a break here really quick and let this dry, and I will be right back. Okay, I am back to go ahead and finish up this project. You've already seen the close-ups of these two envelopes. They will be also represented in the photos at the end of the video. Before we start putting a bunch of stuff on them, I took some photos. So what I decided is I went ahead and cut all of my ephemera off camera, and I labeled everything per which envelope we are working on. So again, if you missed it, look at the mess there. This is going to be an envelope flip. So this one, orientation wise, is this way. So it's got a big opening here. I don't mind that we've got all of that grunginess on the inside. That is okay with me. So this will be sewn into the signature, I believe, or it will be put in another way, depending on how if I feel like it's strong enough. But I'm going to go ahead and cover the flaps regardless, and then if I do need to just glue it in onto a page on the edge of a page. I think that's actually what I was doing. It's going to go on the edge of a page. Sorry guys, let me grab a piece of paper here so I can show you. So let's pretend that this is a journal page. So sorry. This is a journal page. So how this is going to work is this is going to be glued on like this. Okay, so this would be covered with some paper. It will flip like this, and then it will flip out like this. Okay, so that's the plan. So both of them were going to work the same. And so what I decided is we're going to use vellum to go on top of the front cover here, this main piece that we've been working on. This is a new paper that I ordered on Etsy, and it's a gold flake paper, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I printed that on vellum, and so let's go ahead and get going. I'm going to set this one aside because it is still a little cool to the touch, and I want to have it have a little bit more time while we fiddle around with the brown one. So this is the one that I did off camera, and its orientation is opposite. So actually, is it opposite? No, it is not opposite. It should go this way. Sorry, so same orientation. Some of our bees, it looks like, are upside down. I guess that's why I was confused. I think I'm going to make it go this way. So we're going to put our belly band on. And again, this is the gold paper, so I just printed it on a piece of vellum. So I am going to ink up, I forgot to ink up this. You know what, it probably doesn't need it right now. I can do that when we are all done. So we're going to go ahead and put this piece of vellum right here in the middle. Oh, we're too long. That's really crazy. I thought I had measured it. So I am going to be using my art glitter glue, and I'm going to be using a couple of clips because vellum on a really porous surface like we're working on here is going to potentially be a little bit tricky. So I'm going to get some of these sewing clips if I can reach my fingers down in there. I'm going to get 4 out, so we've got 2 for each end. And so we're going to go ahead and glue this on again with our art glitter glue. So hopefully it's going to behave for me tonight. Maybe not. Let's see. Come on. My pin is about to break because it's so bent that it doesn't want to go in there very well. Okay. Okay, art glitter glue, good night. Good night. We're going to use the Barely Arts. It is a little bit more forgiving, so I'm going to look at this and make sure I got the right side. Yeah, this side. So we're going to go ahead and glue the top. Sorry if I'm off camera a little bit. I'm going to be kind of generous with it because it is going on a very porous surface. Oh, and I have to wait on that one because it's too long. So let me go ahead and put the top on first. I'm going to turn it just so I can get this straight here. And I'm looking from side to side to see that I have about the same amount of space on either side of that. Actually, it's adhering really, really well. But let's go ahead and clip that anyway, just to be sure. Did we get it all the way up? We didn't get all the way up. Goodness gracious. Come on. There we go. Hopefully that's good. I've just had all kinds of challenges with this project. It's pretty in-depth, which is why it's pretty piecemealed. Hopefully when I do the editing, I'm pretty good at it, so I don't mind saying that. So it should be all right. So I'm going to go ahead and make a pencil line here so I can cut off this excess. So I usually can cut it pretty darn straight, so fingers crossed. Actually, I could probably, I don't want to glue it on first because I want to ink it. So I'm just going to do that and just hope for the best. Get a little bit of ink here. And do the same. It's a little bit short, but that's okay. So I'm going to put it, I guess I could better put it on the back of the vellum here. Okay. And again, as I say all the time, perfection is not at play in the studio. So if things just don't quite line up, do not be worried about that. So we do need those clips though, because I can see that that vellum wants to curl there. So that is okay. So let's go ahead, pardon me, let's jump over to this one just so we can have both of these pieces drying a little bit here. So I'm not sure where I got off in my measurements because this one is too long as well. Goodness gracious. I'm going to cut a little bit off of that one too. Okay. And so I'll do all my inking around all of my pieces also, just so that it would save time on the video. Okay, I'm going to do it on both ends just because it's easier than trying to do it once I've got the top side on. So I'm going to just place that down, and I'm just going to kind of estimate that it is in the right place. It doesn't have to be exact at all. This one is a little bit still, again, dampish, because I did come in, just for full disclosure, oh, come on. For full disclosure, I did come in and, oh, I need more clips. Sprayed a little bit more of the Vintage Photo on here, just to pump up the dark color a little bit after I had done the brown or the gold, the second layer of gold. Boy, this is not adhering right now, so let's try that again. And it is just because we are putting this on a very, very porous surface, okay? So you know, white glue might not be the best option, but I don't really know what else would be better. So let's just hope that these clips will hold it enough to be effective. So here we go. I feel like my camera is a little bit wonky too, so I'm gonna set that aside, and I'm gonna, yeah, maybe not. Maybe it's just me. It's a work night. So we've got some bow in there. That's going to be okay. So let's go ahead and turn this over. We're going to have to take the clips off though. Okay, so let's do that. It's probably not long enough, but it might be okay. All right. So I will be probably embellishing these a little bit more. So what you see here is I used my punch and I made some tabs that will go on this edge of the journal card, so it's going to stick out over here, and this is just going to go on the front of this one. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. I'm just going to use the Bearly Arts, and I glue half of the top piece of the tab, like so. And I'm just going to try to get it in the center if I can of the card as best I can. Actually, it needs to go further because I don't really know how far these are going to stick out. So we are actually going to leave very little sticking up the top on second thought. So that's what it looks like on the back side. And then we'll put the other piece on the back. Hopefully I have enough glue on the front piece. Ah! No! Oh, goodness. I always say that I don't like to film on a work night, but I've just gotten so behind, and I just, yeah. There's just not enough time in the world to get stuff done, so I decided I was going to just try to get myself a little bit of ahead of schedule. So there we go. There is our little tab. So what I might do is I might put some lace down here. I'm not sure. I will again embellish these further. So this is going to slide under here. And it might be a little tricky because it's got texture under there, right? That's perfect, actually. We've got enough room to fiddle with that. Sorry, guys. Oh my goodness, my camera feels very off. So that is that. So let's go ahead and turn her over. And let's go ahead and put on one of our flaps. And I might have to trim this up, and that's okay. I just didn't want to do all that work off camera. Actually, I'm going to set that over there for now. Because like this one has a rounded edge, so I will have to do some trimming, and that's okay. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac this time. When I have a project like this that I'm trying to prepare all the cut pieces before I turn the camera on, it took me, oh goodness, probably a good 2 hours this afternoon when I got home from work. So it's not a fast process. So, but it's worthwhile in my opinion. So, oh, we got just a little bit of an edge here. I've got glue on my scissors, which is not a good scene, but we'll deal with that on another day. So I've had some people say that they'd like to see more mixed media. I would love it if you could leave a comment, if you haven't already, specifically about what you'd like to see. Do you want some mixed media that's a little bit simpler, not as involved, or would you like to see more of what you're seeing here that I am doing in these last videos? So I would love to have your feedback on that. So I'm just inking up that edge because we put those papers together and they can have that white showing. So there is our flap. Oh, I love this so much. Okay, and our last step is super easy because we actually made our pocket over here. Originally, I think I talked about having it come in this way, but I figure I cut this side open, I may as well use it and just cover this this base. So this is our base for the brown envelope. This is actually a PNG file, absolutely gorgeous. And just so you understand, this is not what it really looks like in terms of, I printed a coffee dye digital, and then I printed that gold flake paper, which you'll be able to again link in the video description. So it's got double printing underneath it, and then the B is printed on top of it. So I am absolutely in love with this. I'm thinking I want it to go this way. Let me think about how this is going to go on a page again. So it's going to go on a page like this. So yeah, we would want our B to go this way. So it is cut to fit right here. Now, as you know, you do have to guard this area here. Otherwise, you end up closing your pocket. So what I like to do is go ahead and get a little bit of glue up here. Actually, in this case, more than a little bit. I'm going to be pretty generous right there. And then we can fill the rest in with our Fabri-Tac. Right there. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I need to grab my towel and just give a press here. So I've got some oozing glue. There we go. And I'm going to just use that and just press over the whole thing. And I wanted to use a variety of papers just because I think that that's fun to kind of mix it up a little bit. We've got some white showing there. That's probably from the edge of where I cut that off. So let me go ahead and ink that and see if we can affect that edge a little bit, that white core. So there we go. So, sorry for all the flipping. So it opens like this, and then we've got a pocket here. Perfecto. So let me ink this as well. Again, I'm not too concerned about it. I like the grungy look, and I'm just in love with this one. This is not the one we did on camera though, as you probably know. So this is the large journal tag that should be fitting in this pocket with a little bit of it sticking out. So same thing. I've got this image of a bee. It's printed on coffee dyed paper, which is why it looks a little bit different than you might expect. And these are going to have to go sideways because I don't want to take up too much of the landscape here at the top of this this bee here. So I'm just going to go like so. Okay, so that is our journal card, and again I will probably embellish these with a little bit of lace and whatnot. So this is going to slide into this large pocket right there, and look at how it barely sticks out. So these measure now perfectly. So this will hang out of a journal because my journals are generally 5 1/4 inches wide, so it's going to hang out a bit, but we'll deal with that. If I have to, I'll pull this card out and I will make it a little bit narrower if this becomes a problem. So that is our first one. I love it, and we're going to go ahead and slide. What happened here? This way. Yeah, actually this will probably, and I'll probably put another one in here actually, put two journal cards in here, just kind of like that, and then we've got that showing on the front. So let's stick this journal card back in here. I'll probably put some words on here. That glue is going to be fine. I can see it's nice and stable. So that is the first one. And so let's go ahead and work on this one as well. So I'm going to take these clips off. Seems to be pretty good. And again, I'm looking at orientation here. Which way was this one? I cannot remember. I think it was the same direction, wasn't it? I don't know. I didn't want the drips to go. Yeah, it's this way because I want the drips to be going down. Sorry if that doesn't make sense. So this is our tag for the belly band. So I'm going to go ahead and just speed this part up really quick. So this is weak, and hopefully it'll be stronger as this dries. I also realized that on the other one I gave it a coat of matte medium at the very end. This one I did not, and the matte medium would secure this. It would make it stronger. So we'll have to see how that holds up. It might need to be reinforced some other way, but we will cross that bridge when we get there. So this is the way it opens, this one. So I'm just going to turn it like that so I know the direction I want my this base to go. So I want this base to go this way. And it is, why is this short? Goodness gracious me. Okay, well, again, we roll with it. So this time I'm going to go up here with the Barely Arts on both edges, just to hopefully do that a little bit better. And I'm not going to go all the way to that edge because the paper doesn't fit for some odd and bizarre, unexplainable reason. I'm not sure. Okay, so we've had it this way, right? I'm just looking at this writing, and that's how I know which way I wanted this to go. And I put that glue too far up, even though I just said I wasn't going to do that. So it is okay. So what we're going to have to do, though, is we're going to have to get some glue under here a little bit further, and we'll wipe off that excess. It's not a big deal, you guys. Not a big deal at all. Don't fret. Don't sweat the small stuff. This is a rustic vintage journal, so I am not going to worry about a single thing that's happening here. Okay, so there we go. So I kind of like that that shows. I originally was going to leave that part exposed, so that's kind of cool. So then our pocket is here. So I'm hoping that that's going to stick. It probably will over time. It just needs a little bit of time to set. And we've got a rough edge here. So let me see if I can just trim that off. I don't know if you guys can see that bit there. It's a little bit rough. Not a problem, but it might create some stickage, you know, when you're trying to mess around with it. So that's that. So our little other journal card is this one, and it's the same image just because I really, really love the turquoise in it. And since this was the turquoise looking base, I wanted that. So this one, we can totally put this up here and have it be kind of in the center of the journal card. And again, I will decorate more and probably put another large journal card in the big pocket, whoops, off camera, and I'll be able to show you that in the photos at the end of the video, as I often do. Embellishing is, for me, is kind of a personal thing, and so sometimes I have trouble going into the full embellishing that I want to do in terms of lace and words and things like that. So I just give myself permission to do some of that off camera. So there we go. And this is that paper. So this is that gold flake paper without it being on coffee dyed paper. Is that beautiful? Oh, I just love it. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, there we go. So this is this journal card. So this B is going to go in here like so. Like so. I will ink up that edge because it's a little bit rough there, and we've got some stickage there. So let me get my metal ruler. We'll probably just have some excess glue on that other side where I oh, you know why? Because I measured these cards to go all the way to this point, so I may have to trim that card off, which is not a big problem. So let's try that again. See what happens here. Just don't want it to stick out too much. That might be a little much, but I will deal with that after, and I'm not going to leave that in because I know that I've got glue that's wet down at the base. So that is it, my friends. That is all I have for you today, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for your patience as I piecemeal this project together. I promise in the future it will be better. I am definitely usually more organized. Not feeling well, recovering, and all of that is difficult when you want to be creative as well. So I will see you next time. Bye bye.